Okay, this assignment ain't much to it, so I want to briefly rehash how to solve inequalities. I need to find all the values for x that make x subtract 2 greater than -3. Okay. First off, I put a 1 in front of the x. It needs a coefficient and box it. I don't have a negative in there, so the sign's not going to change. It'll be greater than when I go graph it. But I have this -2, so I got a +2. And I get -1 and then 1x. Now we don't need to divide by 1. It's just x is greater than -1. Circle. And then greater than means it's all numbers going this way. Okay, this equation here needs to be reordered. Okay, we are going to find the number, but first off, I need my variable that I don't know on this side. So I transfer x minus 3 over here, and then transfer 4 over here. And then the sign turns around and goes the other way. Cross that out. Okay, now we start. Put a 1 in front. Do you have a negative there? Nope. So in the answer, it'll still be less than or equal to. +3 plus 3, I get 1x, and then 7. Okay? So I don't need to divide by 1. That's just x is less than or equal to 7. You can be equal to it, so it needs to be filled in, and then less than goes this way. Okay, next problem. Now, as you can see, you don't need to reorder it because you got x's on both sides. Okay, so if there's on both sides, I don't need to reorder it. I just need to get rid of the 1 over here, okay, because you got a -8x and a 4x. So it's 4x is the one I'm getting rid of. So it's positive, so I minus it and minus it. Okay, so -8 minus 4 is -12x plus our 7, -17. Okay, now that we have just one single x variable, we know if it's negative or not, and it is negative, so that less than is going to end up changing to greater than or equal to. I don't know that when there's 2 of them. Okay, so we got to eliminate the 7 by subtracting, so -12x, and then we got -24, and then it's time to divide. And then when I divide, I'm just going to fill this out. So that's x, and that's 2. I'm dividing both sides by a negative because the x coefficient was negative. So there. Fill it in, and then greater than means we'll go this way. Okay, next problem. Put the 1 in front. Remember to box that up. Okay, you only have one single x, so you should know right now if your sign has to change or not. And we have a negative in there, so it does need to change and go the other direction. Now, we have this number underneath, means I need to multiply by -2 on the other side, okay? 1x, I'm not going to have to divide. That's going to be just x, and then 5 times -2 is -10, okay? So the sign did switch there. Okay, greater than, so you're going to go this way with it. Okay, and then let's look at where we have 2 signs. 2 signs, 2 inequality signs means there's going to be 2 numbers, okay, that I need to find on this number line. My answer is everything between them, but I got to find out what they actually are. So I box up 6x. That's your only x. It's not negative, so those signs are going to go the same direction. But we got to clear out this -10, so I plus 10 and get rid of it, but then I plus 10 to the 2 and the 20. You got to do it to both. So I've got 6x, and then I've got 12, and then I've got 30. Then I divide by 6, divide by 6, divide by 6, and now I end up with 2. X and 5. So now I know my critical numbers are +2 and +5, and they're not equal, either one of them. It's just all numbers between them. So like 3, 4 would work, 3.5, 4.5, as long as it's between 2 and 5, it works. Okay, now that's where we were for inequalities, and then there was that profit story problem, but we'll talk about that more later. Now, here's how you have to graph inequalities here, okay? It says y has to be greater than, whatever number y is, it has to be greater than or equal to taking negative 1/3 times x plus 2, okay? I've already graphed the line for you, okay? So you don't need to worry about getting the line down. The line's already there. Now, what the line does is it splits it into two halves. This half of the line and this half of the line. I need to figure out which xy points make this greater than all this, okay? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What I do is I pick any point on the graph. I personally always like to pick the middle because it's very easy to do. And at that point, the coordinate is x equals 0 and y equals 0. So what I'm going to do is insert 0 in for x and 0 in for y and see if I get a yes or a no, a true or a false. So get rid of your y and put 0. And then get rid of your x and put 0. And then plus 2. The letters come out, they're both replaced with 0. Now what's 1/3 times 0? 0. And then plus 2 is 2. So I still have 0 on this side, and this side I have 2. This is my bigger number. Does the sign open up towards that number? No, it does not. So that means it's false. So this point here gave me a false statement. Put a giant F over it. Okay, put a giant F on this side. That means all points on this side of the line, every XY point you pick is going to be false. Okay? There's no need to even pick any more. If that's false, all these other ones are false. That means all these points on the other side are true. Okay? So you need to color in the true side. I don't know why you do that. They do. They want the true side shaded in or colored. Okay, now let's look at another one. Here's the line of this equation. 3 times x plus 5 times y has to be greater than or equal to negative 30. Okay? So when I pick an xy point and multiply the x by 3 and the y by 5, it needs to come out greater than negative 30. Okay, if it doesn't, it's false. If it does, it's true. So what this line's done is it's split it into this side and then this whole side over here. Okay, so pick any point. I like to, again, pick 0, 0. It's the easiest math you can do. Okay. So that means I need to replace the x with a 0 and the y with a 0 and see how that works out. Now, I got negative 30 over here. Now, 3 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 0 is 0, so that side's 0. Now, you need to think, what's bigger, 0 or negative 30? 0 is bigger. 0 is bigger than all the negatives. So this is the bigger number. Does the sign open up towards that one? Yes, it does. So that's a true. So I put a big T on that. That means every point on this side of that line is true. Now, if you cross over the line, every point on this side is false. Okay? So here are all the XY coordinate points that give me a true statement. Okay. Now the line itself means any point on the line will give you an answer that is equal to negative 30. Okay, that's what the line is. But then there's other sides to it. It's greater than. Okay, let's keep on going. Label the side of the line that contains all the inequalities true coordinates. Okay, so here's the line. It's like dashed. The reason why it's dashed is because it doesn't say equal to. It just says greater than, but we'll worry about that tomorrow or next thing that we do. Okay, so here's my point. again, here's my line. It cuts it into two parts, this part and this part. Okay, so x is 0, y is 0. You need to put 0 in for y, and 0 in for x, and then see what you get. So this side you got 0. 2 times 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 is obviously bigger. The sign is not opening up towards, the mouse is not opening up towards the big number. Okay, it's opening up towards the smaller. That means it's going to get small number poisoning and die. So that's false. So that is F. Every point over there is false. There's no need to keep plugging in points. Okay, if that's false, anything's false over here. Anything over here then is the opposite. It's true. So over here are my true points. Okay, next one. Again, the line's already down. You don't have to worry about that. Again, 0 and 0, best point possible. So 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0 is greater than or equal to negative 12. Well, that's 0, and that's 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. That's easy mental math, okay? 0 is bigger than any negative number, so, and it opens up towards 0, so that's good. That's true. It's opening up towards a big number. It's not going to die of small number poisoning, okay? So that's true. Anything over here is true. When you go across to the other side of this line, anything's false, okay? So true. Okay, now let's look at this dandy. Y is greater, y, whatever y is in a coordinate, it has to be greater than or equal to 3 times its x coordinate. Well, here's a problem. The line cuts through the 0, 0 point, so that isn't going to work. So we got to pick another point. If 0, 0 fails, I would go with 2, 1. Okay, so at that point, x equals 2 because I'm at 2 on the x, and y would equal 1. Okay, so I need to put 1 in for y, and then I need to put 2 in for x. That's 6. Now 6 is bigger, doesn't open up towards 6. That's false. Okay, so this is a big F. Okay, so any point on that side is a false. Any point on this side is true. Okay, so we color in the true side. So if that would happen, it's very rare, but if it happens where the line cuts through the origin, the middle, I would see if you can pick 2, 1. 2 for x, 1 for y. It's easy point, easy to see.